There's a silent mistake that millions of people make with money every single day. And the most interesting part is that most people don't even realize they're making this mistake. A person wakes up, goes to work, gets paid at the end of the month, and believes they're doing everything right. After all, they work hard. They take care of their responsibilities. They pay their bills. They're doing exactly what most people do. But after a few years, something strange starts to happen. Money never seems to be enough. No matter how much they earn, there's always this feeling that something is missing. It's almost like money keeps slipping through their fingers. Now think about something interesting. When someone buys a hammer, they usually know what it's for. A hammer is made to build things. It helps create something solid. The same goes for most tools we use in life. But when it comes to money, something completely different happens. People receive this powerful tool in their hands and immediately start using it without ever learning what it's really meant for. That's the first thing almost nobody realizes. Money wasn't created just to be spent. That might sound obvious when you say it out loud, but look at how most people actually behave. They spend their entire lives earning money just to spend almost all of it shortly after. The cycle repeats itself over and over again. Work, get paid, spend. Work, get paid, spend. And this continues for decades. The problem is that when a tool is used only one way, you're ignoring all the other things it could do for you. Think about a key. A key can open a door. But if someone never realizes that the same key might open other doors too, that person will live their life believing they have very few options. Money works in a very similar way. When someone sees money only as something that pays bills and buys things, they limit the true power that tool could have in their life. There's a big difference between spending money and using money. Spending money is automatic. Anyone can do it. All you need is money in your account and the desire to buy something. But using money is different. Using money requires intention. It requires thinking a few steps ahead. For example, imagine two simple decisions. One person receives money and immediately thinks, "What can I buy with this right now?" Another person receives money and thinks, "How can I use this to make my life easier in the future?" Notice how small that difference in thinking seems. But over the years, it creates completely different results. This is one of the quiet secrets behind many people who build financial stability. They don't necessarily earn much more money than everyone else. What changes is the way they look at every dollar that passes through their hands. For many people, money is just a reward for their work. Something that shows up at the end of the month and disappears shortly after. For other people, money is more like an employee, something that can be put to work. And when you start looking at money that way, something interesting begins to happen. Every small decision starts to carry more weight. Buying something is no longer just a purchase. It becomes a choice between two things: immediate pleasure or future benefit. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying the present moment. The problem starts when every single decision is made only for the present, because the future eventually arrives, it always does. And when it does, all those small decisions that once seemed insignificant begin to show their results. Another interesting thing about money is that it amplifies habits. If someone has the habit of spending without thinking, earning more money usually doesn't solve the problem. In many cases, it simply makes the problem. This happens all the time. People get raises, change jobs, start earning more money, and a few months later their financial situation looks exactly the same. Why? Because the tool is still being used in the same way. It's like trying to build something with the wrong technique. No matter how many times you try, the result probably won't change if the way you use the tool stays the same. Now here's the interesting part. Learning to use money better doesn't require a radical change in your life. Most of the time, it starts with something very simple: awareness. It begins when someone stops for the first time and asks a simple question: where is my money actually going? That question sounds basic, but many people have never truly answered it honestly. And when someone starts paying closer attention, a few things become very clear. Some expenses truly add value to your life. Others simply exist because of habit. Once that difference becomes visible, new choices start to appear. Money stops being something that simply enters and leaves a bank account. It becomes something that can be directed, something that can build security, something that can create opportunities, something that can buy something extremely valuable that many people forget even exists: time. Because in the end, money isn't just about buying things. It can also buy freedom of choice, the freedom to work less, the freedom to change direction, the freedom to say no to situations that once felt unavoidable. But this only happens when the tool starts being used with intention. And maybe the biggest irony of all is this: most people spend their entire lives trying to earn more money, but very few people stop to learn how to use the money they already have. And many times, the real financial turning point begins right there, not when income increases, but when the way someone thinks about money begins to change. Because in the end, money really is just a tool. And like any tool, the final result always depends on the person using it.